Now, this is kind of an impromptu video, but it's more like a story more than a video. I don't really have any points to make about what's going on with WWE right now, or predictions for the Royal Rumble, or what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family, nothing like that. I'm here to tell a story. And that is today, because I'm mourning the fact that tomorrow I go back to school after a wondrous winter break. I hear that in the parking lot of a local shopping center that is about 10 minutes away from my house in Maryland, the WWE tour bus was in the parking lot. So I drove as fast as I could down there, and I pretty much stalked that bus for 2 hours. Now, I have never met a wrestler or a diva ever. I don't think I ever have. Like, I'm trying to remember, like, I have never met a wrestler or diva, which I feel is an injustice because I've been a fan since as long as I could remember. So, I don't know. Kind of like a slap in the face to me, but whatever. I thought this is my chance. I'm going to meet a wrestler. I didn't care if it was John Cena, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, Hornswoggle. I didn't care. I was going to meet someone. That was my mission. I was dead set on that. So I'm there. I'm trying to figure out, what I can do. I'm waiting. The bus, first of all, it's bitter cold outside. I'm pacing in front of this bus. I'm just trying to wait for the slightest hint of like doors opening or just blinds coming undone, just something like that. So I'm thinking like maybe they went to go eat. I actually ran into a Bob Evans and just like basically walked past the hostess, looked in the dining room, just walked around there, see if I could find anyone. Then I pretended I was on the phone with my mom, like, "Oh, mom, I'm sorry. Did you want to meet me there?" Like, just so I could like cover for myself as to why I just barged into Bob Evans and looked in the dining room. Then I went to Panera Bread, did the same thing, but with Panera, you don't have a hostess, so you can just kind of walk in. So I kind of walked in. So I'm sure I looked weird, but whatever. Then I ran into Kohl's, and I couldn't find anyone there, and I looked all around Kohl's. And then I looked back, and the bus was still there, and it was bitter freezing outside, so I decided to wait in a Burger King, and I ordered some fries, and I'm sitting with the bus in sight, and I'm just eating my French fries, and I'm just waiting, just waiting, just waiting. So eventually, the doors open to the bus. I run as fast as I can. I run out of the Burger King. I have my Sharpie in my hand. I have my phone in my hand because I'm like, the only thing they can sign is my phone case, which is a CM Punk Best in the World phone case. I run as fast as I can. I mean, as fast as I can. And I run into basically oncoming traffic. I probably could have gotten hit by a car. It was not safe at all. Sorry about that. I could have probably gotten hit by a car. I'm sure this was not safe. I was setting a bad example. And I come back, and there was one guy who I just assume can be the bus driver, and he had a Kohl's garment bag over his shoulder. And the doors were open, and he was getting onto the bus, and I just kind of said something like, "Sir," and he just kind of shut the doors. So that is my closest encounter I think I've ever had to actually meeting someone. Again, I don't care if it was John Cena or Heath Slater. I didn't care. That's the closest I came to it. And another hilarious part of this, though, was when I was waiting, another 6-year-old kid came in, and I thought he's going to be my tool to this. He's going to be my secret weapon because he's going to draw them out. They can't say no to a little 6-year-old kid. And he knocked on the door, and obviously someone was in there because the bus was running. I'm pretty sure I breathed in a bunch of bus fumes during my time waiting for this thing. He knocked on the door, and no answer. And he just started crying right then and there. So I'm like, oh God, kid's heartbroken. But I was dead set on meeting someone. I stayed there for at least 2 hours, just right there on the bus. And of course, the time I spent in Burger King trying to warm myself up because my hands were literally like tomato red, and I was just eating my fries. And I ran. I don't think I've ever run that fast in my life. Like I ran as fast as I could. And again, I ran into oncoming traffic. I ran in the streets. My life meant nothing at this point because I could have possibly met someone, you know. So I don't know. Am I being kind of weird? Should I? If you guys were in my position, would you have paced in front of the bus? Because that's what I did. Now I'm thinking the lowest I can go is lay down in front of this bus if it starts to leave, and I didn't do that, thankfully. But that's my up close and personal encounter. Actually, trying to meet someone. It's the closest I've ever came in my life, and I honestly don't see it happening soon. No, whatever. I'll live. It's not like it was the worst thing to ever happen to me. But I got pictures of the bus, and I've seen the tour bus before because when I would go to Raw in DC, I'd walk around. Like if I'd go to Raw in like the Verizon Center, I would walk around DC beforehand, maybe get there at like noon, and I just walk around DC, and I I'd see the tour bus there, but of course, a bunch of people were around it, and it was heavily guarded. And like if a wrestler did get out, you couldn't see him at all because there were so many people around him. So this is my first up close and personal encounter. There was no one else there besides me and the 6-year-old kid, and he soon left later. So it was just me. I was going to meet someone. It's not like the wrestlers were going to be swarmed by a bunch of people. They were just going to be swarmed by me. But granted, because of my excitement slash nervousness slash awkwardness, they probably would have been overwhelmed. So I don't blame them. Whatever. And I think Raw is in Baltimore tomorrow. I think it's the old school Raw, so that could explain why they're there. But yeah, that's my up close and personal encounter, and